Welcome to this episode of the Building Texas Show. We're coming to you from San Antonio at the San Antonio Home and Garden Show. And I'm thrilled to be sitting down with Sloan Rinaldi from Texas Q.
Yes.
And really talking about a lot of things. But let's start with, you were in the construction industry for a long time.
That's correct.
And we've connected on what that looks like today versus what it was.
Very different.
But what's your perspective? What's happening in the construction and home service world?
I think in construction, we're seeing an innovation in technology. You know, I mean, it's just everything is happening at such a fast pace, literally day to day, where they're making tools and apps that expedite the entire process from takeoffs, the bidding process, all of it. You know, contracts, negotiation, the whole thing is so easy now. It's like seamless. Where before everything started with a cold call. So if you're cold calling, then everything is really very analog, you know, at that point. So that's the difference. Everything was so hands-on. You were literally writing things down, putting things in on the computer, making spreadsheets yourself, doing all that sort of thing. Even takeoffs, you know, you were literally counting and doing the digitizer and things like that, right? So now it's just so expedited. There's, I think, room for so many different types of I think opportunity and creativity with it, you know, and I want people to seize that, you know?
Well, and we talked earlier, it's adapting into that technology too, because it's hard. I remember the days of contractors walking in with like 5 binders and really they have all their data, but now it's all in your phone.
Dude, I remember walking around with plans, you know, literally sets of plans, having to have a section in my office that was nothing but plans, you know? And so it's so different. Everything is different. It's coming down to the phone, you know? There is nothing that I cannot access, whether it would be a construction or what I'm doing in barbecue, that I cannot access via my phone and an app. And I can literally do takeoffs if I wanted to on my phone. You know, it's absolutely amazing. And I think that, you know, it just comes down to, yes, when you do get older, sometimes you may get intimidated by those new things that are coming along, but you have to embrace them or you become irrelevant, you know, bottom line. And you have to adapt in order to succeed, especially in this current environment. If you miss a call, if you miss a date, a deadline, anything, you are left behind. If you don't have technology to make sure that you are on top of everything, you are left behind. So it is time, no matter your age, right? It is never too late to learn. You always have to be embracing technology if you want to succeed. Now, if you want to retire, well, then don't worry about it. You know, do your thing, man. You know, keep your Facebook and, you know, just talk to your friends. But basically in business, especially in construction, it is definitely a tech-savvy industry now, and you have to jump on board.
Now, you've transitioned out of construction.
That is absolutely right.
And you took on
barbecue
as I think 4th-Generation Pitmaster?
Yes, 4th-Generation Pitmaster. My family first started doing barbecue in 1909 in Crockett, Texas. They had the longest family-owned barbecue joint in the state for until recently. So it's just it's a family history that I had never taken part in, right? I had no desire to cook barbecue. I'm pretty gifted in the kitchen. I can cook any culinary style, any cuisine. But barbecue was something that I didn't really enjoy eating myself for whatever reason. But I tell you what, that changed. It definitely changed, and it was Ronnie Killen, at Killen's Barbecue. At that time, craft barbecue was just taking off and lines were being established. Franklin had lines and Killen's had lines, right? So they're taking on it's not old school barbecue, it's craft barbecue, which they're creating incredible next level sides and desserts. Everything is premium ingredients, handcrafted, and the best of anything you can get. Best premium ingredients, right? So when I went to Ronnie's and had his brisket, and it was just a sliced brisket sandwich, to me that was like, it was life-changing. Yeah, it was. And it was a taste of brisket that I had never had before. It was done differently in that it was primed to start with. It was the most succulent, juicy bite of brisket I'd ever had. Very simple bark, salt and pepper. We do the same bark. Actually, our brisket is exactly the same. Mustard binder, salt and pepper, right? And it's the process of how you cook it and how you rest it that renders that incredible brisket. So when I had that, I was like, oh my goodness. I started changing the way I thought about it, right? But at the same time, I had never cooked barbecue. So other than a turkey on Thanksgiving that my stepfather turned me on to, he was an old Cajun dude, and he, you know, you had to have a Creole flavored profile turkey smoked at Thanksgiving, and then some ribs every once in a while, right? I had never done brisket. So barbecue Pitmasters pops up. I was 50 years old. I'd sold my business to people that had worked for me for a long time, a great family. And I was like, okay, what's next? And here's the deal, man. It's light bulb. I see barbecue Pitmasters. There's no women. One woman, Melissa Cookston. And I do like to succeed in male-dominated industries, right? I like kind of that one-of-one thing, right? So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I contacted, I think it was East Texas Smoker Company. They built an incredible pit for me. I picked it up, drove it home, and started smoking. And at first it's like, friends and family, they're like, oh, this is the best I've ever had,
Yeah.
whatever. You have to find people that don't know you, man.
That don't know you.
Aren't related to you, and preferably don't even like barbecue.
Right.
Right? To get that really a subjective, honest opinion.
Right.
And because barbecue is so subjective. And once I started feeling that confident from people that did not know me that I was onto something, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to competition.
Yeah.
But, that was just because that's what everybody was doing. That's what I was watching on TV.
Right.
Right. But so I did my first competition, Bands, Brews, and Barbecue for the Ronald McDonald House. Right. And 20 teams. And all guys, I'm the only girl. And there's these big rigs that pull in. They got party buses and lights going and margarita machines. And they're partying all night long. Have no idea how they freaking smoke barbecue, right?
Well,
it was crazy.
If you're not from Texas and you haven't been one of those events.
Oh, my God.
I don't think you can portray it heavy enough to say it is
It's a party scene, man. It is a party scene. It's a lifestyle. It goes on for 48 straight hours. And it is nothing but those guys. It's just partying and cooking barbecue, man.
Right.
And they love it. For me, I came in. The moment I decided I wanted to go into barbecue, because I am an entrepreneur, I visualized a culinary empire, multimedia business, basically, right? And so that was the first step, was learning, making sure I could cook good barbecue, right? And when I went to that competition with those 20 teams and being the only woman and had my head down all night long, just doing my thing all by myself, and they just kind of eyeballed me all night. I could kind of feel that. But when they called our names for ribs, when they called and I'm like, oh my goodness, I think I'm onto something, right? That led to a Texas State Championship with 250 teams, my second competition, and I placed 14th out of 250.
Awesome.
So I think I got something. I know that I have a gift for fire management. It's like, that's what God blessed me with, And it just kind of took off. So when I realized that I could do barbecue, I had to create my own sauce, right? And I didn't want to use Sweet Baby Ray's on my barbecue, right?
Okay.
I didn't want to doctor it, any of that stuff. So I came up with a list of, ingredients and a flavor profile that I felt for me would be quintessentially a Texas, barbecue sauce that would appeal to not just Texans, maybe, that it was quintessentially Texans, but it had more of a vast appeal, right? So I created this sauce, and the moment I did, I said, HEB is going to want it. Sure enough, a year and a half later, they call, and we drive up to, San Antonio. They made a great offer. They loved the sauce. We were in the stores for a long time, all over the state. Yeah. And eventually we left the stores in order to reformulate, take out the high fructose corn syrup, number one, right? And just really stick with premium ingredients. Our original recipe was too high for a price point in HEB. Right. So we went with what they wanted us to develop originally, which is a very successful sauce, but taking it back and recreating it as to what it was originally supposed to be. Right. Premium ingredients, no garbage. It's just an amazing sauce. And it's at TexasQ.com. Now our sauces are rubs, brisket rub, Creole pork rub, and all our sauces. So it's been a wild ride.
and you have built that multimedia,
multimedia
barbecue empire.
That's what my vision from the beginning was that, and I wanted to be able to talk to people, the masses, I guess you say, general public, about Texas barbecue, about our heritage, about what we're doing in Texas with barbecue, that we have become. I would say the destination, Texas is the barbecue destination place for people all over the world. Right. When they want to come to Texas, they're looking for barbecue. When they want to come to this country, they want to come to Texas to get barbecue. I do a barbecue crawl. It's I host a private barbecue crawl. They can book it on our website, TexasQ.com or Airbnb, and as an experience, right? So I had these two guys, two venture capitalists, international venture capitalists from Taiwan. Okay. Booked me for a barbecue crawl, right? So they flew 15 hours to Houston, checked into the Houstonian, which is a really nice hotel downtown or uptown, and fasted 24 hours, okay? Oh, they were ready. They were ready. And then they were so well versed in Texas barbecue, the history, what the market is right now, what the state of our business is. And then we went to one of the only 3 Michelin star barbecue joints in the world, and 2 top 50, one of them being a top 10. So they got 3 joints in all. And just absolutely blew them away to the point where they want me to open 4 joints in Asia. So Taiwan, being Taipei, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. So, I think that's something we might look into.
What an incredible gift, though. And I had the privilege of growing up internationally. Oh, wow. And it's very different. I envy that. It's very different to say you're Texan.
Yes, it is. And I've heard that. You don't necessarily say American. You just say Texan. You just say People Texan. Get it. Yeah.
And they will ask you about the barbecue. They'll ask you about your horses.
That's right. Cowboy hats and boots.
And it's a lifestyle.
It's a culture.
It's a culture, and it's a long history.
Very much so.
And we were talking yesterday about some of these historical places we're losing.
Yes, absolutely. It's sad, sadly. Yeah.
And it's important that we keep the heritage alive and just How are they making this barbecue? How are they passing it on?
That's
and
right.
How do we keep that from being lost by the generations?
I know. I think that right now barbecue is, it's, I don't say that it's like a trending thing because it's part of our culture. It's just a staple.
Right.
But there is so much focus on Texas barbecue right now around the world. And I've been telling all my friends in the business for 10 years that it is the hottest thing in the culinary world around the world, Texas barbecue, right? And so here it is. And I think that in order for us to preserve our heritage and our culture is to continue to make great barbecue and make sure that the rest of the world knows about it.
Right.
Never take a back seat, to Kansas City or North Carolina and those guys. It's just, Texas and barbecue is more about our culture than it is any other state. It is ingrained in us. It is part of how we live our lives. It's our family. It's our community. It's our friends, right? And I have this belief, and we're developing a new show. It's called From Texas with Love, United We Barbecue. 8 countries, right? 3 continents, 9 episodes. And it's essentially based on the premise that on Earth, from the beginning of time, through every culture, live fire cooking is what unites us all, right? Live fire cooking. And that takes place with friends, family, and community always. You never light a fire to cook anything, whether it's a grill or a smoker, just for yourself. You're cooking for your friends, your family, or your community, if not all 3, right? So with that in mind, we want to go to Italy, France, Germany, Spain, Argentina, Japan, and get into their sense and their culture of barbecue and live fire cooking.
Right.
The ranches, Wagyu in Japan, or in Brazil, we're going to have, not Argentina, I'm sorry. We have, the gauchos and this, all the off, like out in the wilderness, and they're out in the, just like with our cowboys here.
It's like a chuck wagon meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're out in the fields, working and cooking live fire, right? So in Spain, the hogs, man, that they're in the Birko hog, what they're doing with pork, amazing, right?
Right.
But all of us have a common thread of live fire cooking, right? And it's just the differences in the cultures and the flavors and the way that we may do it. For us being an offset, or somewhere else underground, or asado, or whatever it is, It's just, there's so many different types of live fire cooking, Santa Maria style, that it's just absolutely unbelievable. But it all comes back to uniting us as friends, family, and community.
Right.
So we want to share all those stories, and ultimately each episode will end with a quintessential Texas barbecue, right? So we'll have brisket, and we'll be able to collaborate with them and fuse something together with their culture, and have a great meal for the community and all the people we talk to through the episode. Then at the end, 9th episode, we'll bring all those people from around the world to Houston, and we'll have the quintessential Texas barbecue and throw down. It'll be a blast.
I've enjoyed going out to ranches where they're bringing all the ranch owners.
Yes.
The neighbors are all coming
together
in
for a big cook.
And they've been doing it for generations.
Hundreds of years.
Because the live fire is what brings people together.
Exactly. It is such a uniting force, and I can't say that enough, man. It is truly friends, family, and community. There's nothing else that brings people together like that, So I really want to lean into that. I want to show people that there's far more that unites us than divides us.
Right.
And I think that above all else, food, is what people show their love through.
Right.
I know I do. If I like you, I love you, I am cooking for you. Sort of thing. So when you have all these people come together of all different walks of life, and you can all sit together at a communal table, that's what it's all about. And I don't know if you noticed this, but in barbecue, unlike any other culinary cuisine, right, that you can put the richest guy and the poorest guy at the same table, having the same meal. You can't get that in any other cuisine, right? So it is the most uniting cuisine or culinary culture on earth is barbecue.
And the tables are set up like that.
Exactly, to enjoy together.
With strangers.
Yes, familial, communal. It's just a gathering, more or less. So it's very uniting, and it just generates right now, I think, when we need it most, a sense of community, and togetherness, and that we are not all so different. We're more alike than we think. I want that.
Well, Sloan, where can people find more about what you have going on in the next year?
Well, TexasQ.com is our website, and we do keep that very well updated with all the things that we're doing. We have custom cutting boards. They're like heirloom pieces you can go on and take a look at. We have all of our merch, sauces and rubs. And then our Instagram seems to be, people tend to like to follow me on Instagram, the personal side. So Sloan Rinaldi on Instagram. We also have Texas Q on Instagram, as well as Facebook. We are starting, we filmed on September 8th, a local show for Houston. So it's called From Houston. And we're going to be filming with like Bun B, Slim Thug, Trey the Truth, and Paul Wall. Okay. And it's called Grills on Grills. So Grills with a Z, right? And then Grills on the ground. So it's going to be really cool. We're talking about the culture in Houston, right? Of food, music,
right?
Whole, and the grills culture, man, and how Houston's grills culture has definitely gone global. And we want to talk to those guys about that. Myself and my guest or my co-host will be getting our own custom grills.
Awesome.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll filming that soon. It'll be up on YouTube, hopefully Netflix as well. And TexasQ.com. You guys hit me up, man. Barbecue crawls. You guys want to book a crawl? Come talk Texas barbecue anytime, man. Absolutely.
Well, Sloan Rinaldi, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the way you're building Texas.
Thank you.
And being a part of the San Antonio Home and Garden Show.
No, Justin, thank you so much for what you're doing. All right, and highlighting what we do, okay, in Texas, and the history and the culture and business in Texas, right? And how can we can preserve it and keep moving forward in this age of incredible technology. So you're very needed in this space.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time today.
Thank you, Justin.